need to leave that friendship behind. I know this sounds like a crazy way to open up today's story time, but that is the entire theme of today's video. While also, here's the subplot here. Remember, you being hyper aware of how beautiful you are, how talented you are, and learning to love yourself will protect you and put you in better places and in better positions of power. Maybe not over other people, but over your own psyche and everything that you believe in and the pursuit of your own happiness. If you literally take nothing else from this video, those need to be the two things. Because today's video is going to be a long one and it's going to be very enlightening for some of you, hopefully. So let's jump on into today's nonsense. So in order for all of this to actually make sense, we have to start from the very beginning, y'all. It gotta be the very beginning, okay? So we need to put together a proper, what I'm gonna just call the family line or the family tree, whatever you guys think is gonna help you better understand who everybody is and put a name to a face, if that's even possible. So in today's issues, we're gonna talk about like these people I met on Discord. So of course you're gonna know me as Sushi, and then we're going to refer to my friend as Soda. The main person who introduced me to our main antagonist, I guess you can call them, is Steak. Steak is a girl, okay? Let's remember that. Then we have my friend Dainty and Apple. These are my friends that I introduced to Steak and to Soda, okay? Remember that. These are going to be very fucking important, okay? And the actual main antagonist, I would honestly say, is going to be Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket is the lover or the romantic partner of the person Steak, who we are going to be talking about today. Remember this information, as it is going to be very integral to the story. Honestly, if I can help it, I'm going to try and find a more distinct way to explain all this in the story as we go. But until then, let's jump right on into it. Okay, guys, so we gonna go way back, and I'm talking about way back into time. If you understand the reference, Bookie, you're old as hell, just like me, and we're gonna get along. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, baby, if you know what that's from. So we're gonna start with where I met Soda and who Soda even is, because it's gonna become very important. So remember this person. Basically, me and Soda met in a Discord, and we hung out a lot, like in this Discord. It was a whole bunch of guys there. I was super excited because I had a guy friend actually invite me here, and I saw that there was a whole bunch of other girls. I was like, girl, I am so excited to meet other bad bitches. Lo and behold, it was pick me central, except for the one girl. Okay, I was like, oh, hi Soda, I'm Sushi, let's be friends. And she was like, bet that, these guys are dumb, let's dip. So we go ahead and we just dip off from that server because of one reason or another. That'll probably come up in another story time, not important. But at this time, I didn't really have my Discord up and running because I was doing a lot of really heavy construction on it because my Twitch was taking off at this time. So I was like, okay, well, let me get my Discord together. So she said, hey, actually, I have another homegirl we can go hang out with. So I'm like, hell yeah, I want to go hang out with this other bad bitch. So she goes ahead and she's like, hey, this is my homegirl, Steak's server. And I say, okay, bet that. I've met Steak before, by the way. We didn't really have a whole bunch of conversations. Honestly, she was kind of standoffish whenever I did talk to her. So I was like, okay, maybe she's just shy. Okay, I'm not gonna press her. If she don't want to get pressed, that's fine. That's okay. So we go in there, and the first introduction is this. It goes like this, right? I get there. Steak, I, random girl, and a guy named Hot Pocket are all sitting here, and we're vibing out, and we are playing Roblox. Everybody's listening to their own music. We're just vibing. Everything's great. So essentially, I find out that Steak is from Texas. Cool. I'm from Texas. So, of course, if you are from the South, period, especially from Texas, you know that walking into somebody's house is rude and disrespectful without saying hello to the owner and anybody else who speaks to you. So, of course, Steak, being the Southern bad bitch that she is, goes ahead and introduces everybody to me as a friend. Remember this information. She introduces me to everybody as a friend. So of course, eventually, because you know we all have lives to live outside of Discord and Roblox, Steak and Soda decide to dip out. They have their own things going on. They're still in the Discord though, and they're just on mute. So of course, I try to make conversation with the girl. I'm not really keen on talking to men first in any capacity unless they speak to me. I'm a kind of person where I speak when I'm spoken to, except when it's women, ironically enough. So me and the girl get to talking. Girl doesn't have a name, but me and girl start talking. And we bring up piercings. So This is not public knowledge, I don't think, but I, Sushi Baddie, have like several piercings. I have several face piercings, and I also have several like ear piercings. I wouldn't say several. I think it's more like 4. So that's 2 on each ear, baby. But either way, I was at the time planning to go get my nose re-pierced for like what, the 5th time or something. And I'm chopping it up with an old girl. And she's like, damn, I want to go get my ears pierced too, but I can't afford it. And so I'm like, girl, you and me both are on the broke boat, okay? We're not even on the boat. We're on the dinghy, the broke dinghy, okay? And so we're just chopping it up. Eventually, Hot Pocket decides that he wants to jump in on the conversation. And so I'm like, sure, cool, that's fine. We're going to talk about piercings. He kind of mentions something about the piercings, and he asks like, oh, what's the deal with that? Like, how much does it cost? And so I'm like, oh yeah, it's like gonna be like $30 because I was gonna go on a day in Houston where they have $30 piercings, and they actually use actual sterling silver. So I was like, yeah, let me go and do that. So old dude is like, oh my goodness, that sounds so cool. You seem so cool. I can pay for it if you want. So of course I'm like, now wait a damn minute. I don't even know you like that. So, of course I'm kind of like, I'm a little skeptical, as I should be, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to be skeptical. I don't know this dude. But he's like, bro, it's cool. I do this all the time. Whenever I get new friends, it's fine if you want something, just let me know. So of course I take what he says, and I'm like, you know what? The girl didn't say anything. She didn't make it her business to say anything in a rebuttal to him. So I'm like, okay, cool. When we're done with this match of whatever we were playing at the time, I say, I'm gonna send you over my my information for Cash App. So at some point, hours go by. I'm talking about hours go by. He hasn't really mentioned it, or he hasn't really talked about anything else other than that. So, and the girls hadn't gotten back yet. So I was like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and send him this shit before I go to bed tonight. So not even like 2 hours after I send it, I'm still on my phone dinking around because I like to fucking read late at night. He goes as far as to say, hey, here's the money. Not only did dude send me $30, he sent me an extra $20. So I was like, I was obviously caught off guard, and I told him, hey, I appreciate it, but I also have to make it very clear, like, hey, don't make this a habit. I don't really know you like that. Now, if we get to know each other a little bit more, maybe that'd be the case. But, I feel like I'm indebted to you. I'm going to want to pay you back. He's like, well, the only thing you have to do to pay me back is send me a selfie of you with the new piercings. And I'm like, okay, bet that. Now, if you're a piercing head like me, like you like piercings and you think you look cool with them, tell me how many of y'all in the comment section right now, tell me how many of y'all are going to, if somebody says, hey, I'm going to pay for you a piercing, how many of you going to say no? And don't lie, bitch, because I don't like liars, okay? I don't like liars. The fuck? So don't tell me that you're not gonna say, oh yeah, if someone was giving me money to go get a piercing, you're not gonna take it. So yeah, I'm giving dude the benefit of the doubt. Also, the whole night goes by, right? Steak, soda aren't back. I dip out, go to bed, next day. I get my piercing done that day at like 4 in the afternoon. Cool, come home, take my shower, and now I'm on Discord hanging out with Soda and my homegirl Dainty. So we are still in we're in like this weird buffer zone of my Discord where like a lot of people can still come here, but it's like there's nothing that you can see because there's nothing going on. And essentially, I'm on camera and I'm picking out my nose ring. I'm like, girl, bitch, I am too bad. You couldn't tell me shit, okay? How do I tell you couldn't tell me shit? So essentially what is happening here is Soda's like, oh my goodness, girl, like, when did you go get your piercing done? Like, did you get paid from Twitch early? Because I was telling her I was waiting on my Twitch check at the time to get my piercing done because I was going to get like, what about like a couple $100s? And I told her, oh no, like that guy Hot Pocket paid for it. And when I say you could have heard a mouse piss on cotton in that VC. So of course, Dainty already ain't talking, but now the bitch ear perked up. I know she is listening hard as fuck, right? So Soda is like, girl, that's interesting that you say that, considering the fact that like Steak and Hot Pocket are together. Like that's her man, that's her boyfriend. And so I'm like, bitch, you're not lying. Like you're lying, right? Like you're not being dead ass. And she's like, no, dead ass. Like that is her man. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting because honestly, I didn't know. She introduced him to me as a friend yesterday, and she's like, yeah, I know. That's why I kind of asked her about that shit because she said something to her, and she's like, that's kind of weird. Like, is that or is that not your man? So essentially, at this point, Soda gives me the full rundown of why the situation is so strange and why it's so weird in the first place. Because first and foremost, they are on again, off again, very wishy-washy kind of relationship. And they've been doing that for about a year at this point that she's known Steak and she's known Hot Pocket. And she met him on Roblox. I know, boo, tomato, 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 tomato. Look, I'm not gonna knock somebody who wants to fall in love online, baby. I'm not gonna knock it, okay? That's not my business. That's not my monkey. That's not my circus, Bookie. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So Soda's like, telling me all this shit. And so I'm like, okay, so with all this information I have now, should I say something to Steak? Like, I mean, she's pretty cool people. I don't want to like intervene in like any of their business per se, but if I was a girl who just met her, like somebody's man, and I'm like, I would want some girl to tell me something. That's just me though. I guess that's just me because Soda's like, girls, straight up, don't say shit. Do not say anything. You are going to be wasting your breath. And it's not even worth a damn to give because she's not going to listen. And boy, is hindsight 2020 because I really, really do wish I had listened to her and really understood what she meant when she said that this man in her eyes can do no wrong. Like when I say to people that I don't imagine that, like, let's say my little 8-year-old cousin can't do any wrong. Bitch, that little girl pisses me off every day of the week. That girl do wrong every fucking day. Every time I see her, she does wrong. I say that jokingly, but I did not know what that meant when somebody says somebody to them can do no wrong. And we are about to realize why this spiral took such a sharp turn. So as we kind of like speed up to kind of like keep everything condensed, there were way more money issues that happened in the time of him giving me money for my piercings. And then up until this point in the story where we're at now, about 2 months has passed and a whole bunch of shit has happened and even more is about to start happening. So outside of just that money, Steak had a lot going on. Like when I say like had a lot going on, I'm talking about like she started to become more like invested in Discord and started being on Discord even more. And so I, at the time, had finally finished up my Discord and I was like, okay, cool. Let me think of some people I want to invite. So I go ahead and invite Soda. And in a last ditch effort to kind of like, I guess, break off Steak from Hot Pocket, I was like, okay, she can come, but I don't want Hot Pocket there. Okay. And the reason why that is because Hot Pocket in this time frame, in this little time skip here, has not only made me feel uncomfortable sexually, emotionally, and just outright just so uncomfortable. And I've made it very known that I did not like the attention that he was giving me. I wasn't going out of my way to pursue his attention. I wasn't doing anything to even address him half the time because of how bad of an impression that everything had on me. Okay, so I noticed now what Soda was talking about when she said that Steak had pick me tendencies. And first it was just like small shit, like Hot Pocket making like small little snide remarks at me in VC, only when there was other men around, specifically Hot Pocket, or whenever I would actually jump on Hot Pocket's fucking case about him making me uncomfortable. I would just get like this whole little spiel about, oh guys, let's just be nice, let's be kind, like as if I was the problem. When I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the one being friendly. Your man is being too fucking friendly with me and it's making me feel uncomfortable. So of course at this time, we start talking about selfie channels in Steak's Discord. We're still there, but not for long, okay? I was talking about how, yes, I was adding my selfies channel and I was putting in a few selfies and I got a lot of reactions in my Discord, right? So then at some point the next day during that conversation, Steak also mentions that, oh yeah, I want to add a selfies channel to my Discord because, you know, you inspired me. And I was like, okay, cool, that's amazing. Let me know if you want me to drop some selfies in there. And so I dropped some selfies in there. Mind you, Steak has had her Discord open for longer, so there's way more people. So whereas in my server, I was getting about maybe 20 to 25 reactions, I got like almost 60 fucking reactions in Steak's Discord versus Steak only getting about 15 reactions. And none of them were from Hot Pocket. Unfortunately, in this case, this started the cataclysm. Okay, things got really bad from here, mainly because with everything that was going on in Steak's life and her kind of confiding in us, I'm not going to put all her business out there, even though she really does not deserve me being this level of nice, and you guys are gonna understand why. She was going through a lot with her mom. She was going a lot with having not really liking her job and her sister stealing from her, and it was a lot going on. Okay, so Soda, Dainty, Apple, and Apple is my guy friend. Remember this information, guys. So we all decide, hey, you're confiding in us and we want to help you. So of course, here's what we do first. So we try to get our homegirl Dainty here to kind of just have this conversation with her, like, hey girl, this is how you can do this. Here are the proper channels. Here are some of the resources that you have available to you. Mind you, me and Steak live in the same state. So I'm also giving her some of my mental health things that I use that are not as expensive. And if she went to school, then here are some of the things that she has available to her. So like I'm putting her on, like we're all putting her on. And really, Steak goes above and beyond. Steak says straight up, hey, I am willing to help you pay for your driver's ed. And I am willing to let you come and move in with me in my state, in my apartment, basically almost rent free. You just have to work. You literally just have to work here and you have to live and be happy. And this part is really emotional for me because like I live almost 4+ hours away from Steak. And I offered to drive the 4 hours to go to her, to teach her how to drive every other weekend in the month. So I would go there 4 times out of the month, drive 4 hours there and 4 hours back just to help her learn how to drive because her mom would not teach her. None of her other friends who are in real life with her would teach her. And she was scared. She had a lot of anxiety. And I was like, I will literally sit there and we can sit there in the car and we will learn together. And she didn't take any of it. Like she always would say, hey, yeah, I would want to do it this weekend. And then like she would flake and say, oh no, I can't do it this weekend. Luckily, I was never actually on the road when those things happened. But I was like, God, like, girl, we're trying to help you. And at some point we finally met another girl and well, another woman, let me say that, because she's like significantly older than all of us. So we talked to her and she's like, hey, because at some point, Steak's just venting in my Discord. She's just talking, whatever. And I'm like, hey, like, we have some company here who's not, around from me here. So if you want her to leave or we can leave somewhere else, like, let me know. She doesn't say anything. She's like, it's cool, whatever. The woman eventually has an opinion. Okay. So I do have a problem with people giving unsolicited advice, but the woman asked like, hey, do you want advice? Because you're asking for it. Do you want some advice from someone who doesn't know you very well and is not going to be biased? So she says what she has to say, and she gives her very, very honest and candid advice. And I will admit the way in which she said the information was raunchy. I didn't like it. Soda didn't like it. We clocked her on it. And apparently, of course, neither did Steak. But honestly, it's the same shit that we've been telling her for the past year, and she refused to listen to us. So that was part of the issue. And then, of course, like, let's be real here, there was even more bullshit that was just going on. Like, she just did not want to be saved, like, at all. She didn't want us to help her. And it was just getting really bad, especially since like she was constantly, every weekend, she was literally out with her same group of real life friends. They were either they were over there taking magical candies with her. And then while also drinking like really hard, special juices with her, if you know what I mean, wink, wink, wink. And it was a lot. It was a lot to watch happen. Because half the time she would get in the Discord and she would have like her wig cap halfway falling off, her wig would be messed up, or her friends would take pictures of her in very not savory positions while she is out at college campuses. And one of the college campuses that she went to, it's known for its parties, but it's also known for the things that happen at those parties. And I told her about those things because I said, I know people who have been hurt at parties like that. I want you to be more careful or stop going out with those people because they do not take care of you. And half the time you come back drunk and it's like, it's really hard to watch that happen to you. And it was honestly always me being met with the brunt of her anger or her upset or her frustration versus everybody else who was also talking to her even more rudely than I was, mind you. And like nothing, almost nothing. Like she was just like, I know, it's okay, guys, I'm getting better. And I'm like, you're not getting better though. Things are getting increasingly worse and you are increasingly becoming like more like it's a lot going on. And at this time, she's not really talking to Hot Pocket, or so we thought. Okay, we're gonna put air quotes around that, okay? Or so we thought. And every time she would talk about, okay, let me go to this party, we would still help her get ready because, we want our homegirl to look cute too, because her other friends wouldn't help her get ready. And so we would help her say, hey, here are some clothes that we like for you. And so like we were really into Shein at the time. So we were really into shopping. And so like I have a more hourglass-like shape, okay? Out of all my friends in this group, I have a more hourglass athletic-like shape versus Burger, who has a more apple shape. And then we have, of course, Soda, who's a dainty, it's a semi kind of more pear shape. And so the ways in which we wear clothes, we've had to be more cautious because, we want to make sure we're still wearing really sexy clothes, sometimes a little revealing, but we also want them to look nice on us. And a lot of the times, I would say that I'm about to wear an outfit, knowing that it fit my body type. And then for some reason, I didn't understand this, but apparently, what's the word? I don't even know how to say this because this was actually really wild to actually watch happen in real time. I'm not gonna lie, this shit was wild as fuck to watch. But literally, Steak would buy the outfits that I bought and then do reveals in them and then be mad that they don't look the way that they look on her, the way that they do on me. And at some point, Soda ended up telling me, like, hey, can we have a conversation about the fact that, like, bro, she insists on wearing outfits that don't fit her, and I don't know how to tell her without sounding like a hater. Because, you know, of course, no one wants to sound like a fucking hater to our homegirl. And I'm just kind of like, bro, I don't know how else to tell her, like, you know, dead ass, because I'm like, I don't want her to go out looking crazy. Because, you know, whenever your friend go out looking crazy, everybody look at the rest of the friends. And so I was just kind of like, bro, you know, we tried having conversations with her because, like, we tried helping her actually pick out, like, really cute outfits that were still very much still revealing, but they just fit her body better. Just like I wouldn't choose like certain, like I wear frumpy clothes 99.9% of the time, but I know those clothes don't fit me, so I don't look as good as I could every time of the day. But bitch, I don't want to be strapped up in no goddamn latex ass fucking onesie suit, bitch. I'm so sorry about it. That ain't for me, baby. I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to. But for her, she insisted on wearing tighter clothes, and according to Steak and according to Soda, Steak didn't always used to wear clothes like that. Like the type of clothing and the type of things that she wears are not typical things she wears in her closet. It was only when she finally started like shopping with the three of us, the four of us at this point, like the shit was just kind of getting weird. And it wasn't just the clothes. It wasn't just the fact that like she didn't want to take any help from us. It was just kind of like also she insisted on being strung out all the time. And it was just so hard to watch and watch her be in these very, very hard to see relationships and situations. And while all this is happening, it doesn't help that she eventually ends up going back to Hot Pocket and tries to paint it off as if we're just delusional, we're crazy. She goes to a whole family event, like in a rural part of Texas. And I noticed at one point when she came back and she said that she met a guy on a dating app that we helped her set up before she went on the trip. And she said that he stood her up. And the guy she showed us a picture of, she never sent us any like selfies or anything or like them going out or doing anything. She was just super excited to see this guy because he was super excited to see her. And the crazy thing is like I put two and two together. The guy that she went to go see was Hot Pocket. And we confronted her about it. And she obviously got very aggressive and very dismissive and very defensive. But we just were confused on why she would lie to us because it didn't help her case to lie like that. It never did. I didn't understand. And so I was trying to get a better understanding of why she would lie. But she just never said anything. She was kind of like, bro, I'm not going to go back to him anymore. Like that was just a slip up. And I was like, well, girl, like you drove 4+ hours away from your actual like reunion to go see this guy. He's been treating you horribly for almost 1.5 years now. And like, it was just a whole bunch of shit. And honestly, I wish that I could say that things got better, but the things increasingly got fucking worse. And I wish I could say I made up this next part, like with my whole chest. I wish I could say I made this shit up because it's crazy. So this part of the story is a little bit more personal for me, and I honestly really wanted to cut down this part for the sake of conserving time and because I don't feel like I can re-record this without crying. So this is the strongest that I'm going to be for this part because this is kind of where the 10 p.m. calamity is like it started here, and this is kind of where everything kind of takes a really sharp turn. For reference, I don't know if I've made this very abundantly clear, but I am neurodivergent, classified, like I've been diagnosed and I go to therapy quite often. One of my main things I always tell my therapist I want to work on is being more conscious of myself. And she's always been very clear with me. She's like, you're one of the most conscious people that I know when it comes to yourself. But the thing is that I have a hard time in romantic relationships. I didn't mention this very clearly in the story, but I had been in a relationship, a fully long, year-plus long relationship with a guy I really, really liked. Things were cool. Things were great. He wasn't really active in my Discord due to other circumstances, but he was still very supportive nonetheless. And it was really hard for me to kind of have all this shit said to me when we were also going through our breakup. So this is going to be over the course of like almost 5 months of bullshit, okay, when I say all this next stuff. So at this time, I was in my relationship, and my relationship wasn't doing so well. So I really, really poured myself into streaming. And of course, with anything like, everything going on, I poured myself into it, and my Discord was starting to grow. And it was starting to grow very rapidly over the course of, like, let's say 3 months in this case. And my partner and I weren't doing well. And I was really considering breaking up with them because of a series of events that happened that I don't think I'll ever be able to really put into words. It would just be a full-on yap session. So that had to be a different case. But I was confiding in my friends. Like, I was talking to Apple, I was talking to Dainty, and I was talking to Soda. And if for some reason Steak just so happened to be around, then she would just be around. I kind of confided in them and told them that, like, my neurodivergency was kind of hurting my relationship. Like, I have a hard time fathoming and conceptualizing romantic feelings along with, platonic ones sometimes. But I am much better at holding together my platonic relationships versus my romantic ones. And so it was a very deep-rooted secret of mine for a long time because I was very embarrassed. Like, a lot of my friends always come to me and they're like, oh, well, what should I do about this guy? And da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, guys, I don't really know because, I can't even really tell whether or not a fucking strawberry liked me or not. So I don't know what to tell you. But I've progressively gotten much better since then. And a lot of times at this time, like I said before, my Switch was picking up traction. And if you mix a pick-me with a whole bunch or an influx of men into a gaming community, of course, you are going to get a recipe for disaster because things between Hot Pocket and Steak were getting increasingly worse to the point that Steak started spending a lot more time in my own Discord, okay, versus her own. And I was like, that's fine. The more time that she spends away from Hot Pocket should be the better. But no, it wasn't. Because I kept getting a lot of complaints to the point that I had to close out my ticket bot. My ticket bot to this day had to be closed, mainly because so many people were making so many complaints about the nature of my Discord and how, like, very inappropriate and very uncomfortable they were made to feel by, of course, you guessed it, Steak. Because Steak apparently was going into VCs and talking about how I was a cheater and I was cheating on my partner with other people in the Discord server and how I was stringing people along. Mind you, I later find out that she got this information because I had brought in a new friend from another Discord who we are going to call Dill. We're going to call him Dill. And Dill was wanting to pursue a polyamorous relationship. I'm not even gonna say nothing crazy. Like, he just wanted to be poly, okay, bro? And as someone who has been poly in my youth, like my younger years, I wanted to tell him, hey, this is how you can do so safely. This is how you can do so comfortably for all partners involved. This is how it works. This is how I made it work. You're gonna do whatever you want to do differently. And then so he asked me a little bit more intimate questions, but me and this guy have been friends for years. And my boyfriend at the time knew him, even though we weren't really on, like, really good talking terms. Like, things were cool between me and this dude. And the crazy part is that apparently, according to Apple, this guy confided in him and told him that he was attracted to me. And I didn't quite believe it because I was like, nah, not this dude. Like, this dude and I have been friends for like a couple of years now. Like, we're good. Like, we have a really good relationship. And he was like, nah, dude likes you. And I was like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do? Just for the situation to kind of escalate, because Steak ends up coming in on the conversation once he leaves. And we're kind of all just chilling. And she's like, oh my goodness, I really like him. Dill looks fine as hell. He has cats. He's like super cool. He's a DJ in Texas. And I was like, yeah, that's my friend. Like, we're cool. Like, things are Gucci. Like, do you want me to help put you on? And she said, yes, things were cool. Things were great. Amazing. I thought things were going to be cool from here on out. And they weren't. Me and him ended up getting into it for a myriad of reasons. And at some point, after we kind of like reconciled just even a little bit, I wasn't really too keen on him being in my Discord from the things that he was saying and the way he was treating me, because it made me feel uncomfortable. He kept insisting that I come by his penthouse and that I come by. And I was like, no, I'm not really like keen on that really yet. And then I eventually end up bringing up that Steak likes him, and him having seen what Steak looks like, he was like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, but bro, like, she's built bad. I don't like her. And she's really weird. She's always like, and he basically told me, he's like, she's always trying to act like you. And that's weird because she's not you. And it's like really cringe. And the only reason why I remember it and him saying it that way, because I felt so angry on Steak's behalf, having known that Steak was talking about me behind my back. And I have never in my entire existence, as long as I've been on this fucking earth, have I ever defended somebody who obviously didn't like me. And I felt like I was really turning a new leaf, but I didn't like the way in which the leaf was turning. I feel like I was letting a lot of different disrespect like happen, and it really made me upset. But one thing I know for a fact is I'm not gonna sit idly by and let some guy just talk shit about somebody, specifically a woman. Okay, I'm just not gonna let it happen. So I, of course, got angry with him, and so we started having a conversation because I'm like, what is your deal? Like, you shouldn't say that about her. She just likes you, and you don't need to disrespect her like that. Like, you could have just said, okay, I don't like her, and call it a day. And then he eventually just came out with it and said he liked me. And at that time, I was not comfortable with that. So of course, and lo and behold, speak of the devil, and she shall appear. Steak showed up, and Steak was very much infatuated with him. She was trying to talk to him. She didn't even say hi to me. She said hi to him, and she started talking to him. And he's like, bro, like, nobody wants you. Like, I don't like you. Can you please stop talking to me? And then he left. And then I kicked him out the Discord because I was like, I'm so sorry, Steak. Like, and then she turned it on me and she got upset with me. And I was just so blown away. I was just so blown away. And at some point I just muted her, and she had been muted for months. Like, she was muted for 2 months solid. And at one point something happened where I finally broke up with my ex due to the pile-on of the shit that happened. And ironically enough, at the same time, Soda had also broken up with her partner, and we were just confiding each other. Like, things were really hard for those few months. Like, things were hard just for those few weeks. And honestly, I had Dainty, and honestly, Soda had nobody because Steak was too busy trying to get back with a Hot Pocket. And she was also here dealing with the fact that she got fired from work because she was not invested in her job like anymore. And she was always coming to work like high, and it was like really bad. And so, of course, me not being fully emotionally ready for anything, like I also confided in Soda, and we just helped each other through the breakups. It was really hard. It was a really hard time. But Soda kind of really sat there and thought about it. She was like, I haven't even known you like for a full year, and you sat there and helped me navigate one of the hardest, like, most adult breakups I've ever had in my entire life. And you don't even know me like that. Versus my friend I've known for years. And this bitch was too obsessed with that man who's been mistreating her for years to like acknowledge, like, bro, I needed help. And we could have like confided in each other. Like, and it was crazy because like really, Steak hadn't texted anybody in the Discord for like weeks, bro. I'm talking about dead ass weeks. And it was a lot for her. And I think things started to bubble over when I just said it outright in a VC call. We had like 8 or 9 people in there one day. And I said, oh yeah, I can't hear Steak. She's muted. Dead ass. Where to? Like, I'm not dealing with that. Like, straight up, I'm not gonna deal with this shit. I don't care. And like, I came in one day and we were just talking, and somebody asked me about something like me and my ex, and I kind of broke down. And I was like, bro, we're not together anymore. Da da da. And we were just talking about it, and I was just in tears. Like, I felt bad. Like, I never felt like that low before, especially not over a fucking relationship. And apparently that didn't sit right. Like, that did not sit right with Steak. And then she DM'd Soda, and she basically told her, like, I feel like Sushi gets herself into these situations with guys all the time. She's always in and out of relationships with this bullshit. Like, I feel like she always makes everything about her. And like, I don't want to hear this. And so Soda did the one thing that anybody could ever hope for a friend to do whenever someone is speaking about them and they're not there to defend themselves. She told her that if she had beef with me, she needed to go ahead and say it, because she was sick and tired of her in the shadows talking about the state of my relationship when I was in a much more committed and long-term relationship the entirety of the time that she's known me. Not only that, she's like, I'm very educated and that I am struggling with my own problems, and yet I help everybody else even when I am drowning. I save everybody else even when I am drowning. And she sent me the screenshots of like the entire conversation, and like, I had never felt so solemnly cared for by somebody I wasn't related to in so long. I didn't even know what that looked like. And Soda, if you ever watch this, Dainty, if you ever watch this, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all were real ones for the shit that's about to happen next, and the shit that is really about to hit the fan, because apparently Steak did not like that Soda took up for me. She did not like that shit, not one bit. And approximately at 10:03 p.m., Steak took it upon herself to write a full, long-ass essay degrading and berating me exclusively, and then saying that Soda needs to get her priorities straight. And then she just gave like a huge gushing excerpt about Dainty. And when we read it, it was so uncanny and it was so annoying to read, because first of all, I knew that she used AI to write it, because bitch, you don't write like that. You're not actually that proficient at writing at all by a long shot. And then on top of that, to top everything off and make things even worse, she sat there and said that my content was a mix of OnlyFriends and streaming content, which isn't true, because I did not ever use my webcam. I didn't even have a webcam the entirety of the time that I ever streamed with her around. I don't use a webcam on average. I just recently, at the time of recording this, started using webcam, and 90% of the time I either have on a long sleeve or I have on a high neck shirt, or my mic is covering my body, because I'm very conscious about it. Like, I know I have curves, and anybody who knows me knows I have curves. I don't need to flaunt them. Like, they just exist. They're there. Like, it's not a huge focal point of my content. It's never been. I don't plan on it being. And mind you, Soda has actually engaged in adult videography before, but I was called a 304. I was called a 304 for engaging in my community, talking to people and making people feel welcome. And it just so happened that there was a lot of guys in my Discord, and whenever women came in, they left because she made them feel uncomfortable and didn't say anything. And I only figured that out after the fact, because I started role playing in GTA at one point, and I met one of the girls that I had met on my stream, and she was like, yeah, like I don't hang around pick-me's. And she was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I really like your energy, but she is an energy demon, and I can tell she hates you. And she's like, I don't even understand how you could allow for somebody like that to be in your community knowing that she hates you. And so I had to really analyze that information, because not only had Dainty finally told me this information, not only had Apple, he worked his ass off day in and day out, day and night, to tell me, like, you need to get rid of her because she hates you. Like, she wants to be you and she hates you. And she will do anything for male validation in your place. And it was just it was a hard thing to like deal with. And I'm not gonna lie, I said some pretty crazy shit, mainly because she told me to go off myself. Like, she told me to get rid of myself, because she was like, you're not all that. You're not that pretty. You're not that smart, and you're not going to make it in life. And I quite honestly hope that, and she went into deep detail about what she wanted me to do this to myself. And then it was even worse of what she said to Soda. And then all of this happened from the time of 10 p.m. at night to almost 1:15 in the morning, just on a random Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was on a random Tuesday. And I went to bed and I just stared at the ceiling, and I was like, I cannot believe that I really sat there and tried my best to not only turn over a new leaf in the way in which I approach myself and the way in which I approach friendships. And I couldn't even realize that my sheer presence was threatening to this girl. Like, I had to really sit down there and I had to really think, like, bro, sometimes maybe it's not me. Maybe it's really just not me. And I'm always very quick to be like, okay, well, maybe it is me. And I definitely attribute that to my neurodivergence. And I had to really sit there and analyze that, because I did have a field day talking about this with my therapist. And she told me, like, go ahead, write your whole video essay about it, like really talk about it and make this a teachable moment for people. And now it's just kind of like, bruh, like, are you dead ass right now? Like, I'm really telling this story. There is just so much missing information, but it would be a longer video than it already is for me to kind of like get y'all through this shit. So, yeah, it was wild. I was just like, damn, I really just let this girl slide. And she really did tell me, she was like, bro, like, and it's so crazy, because I told her straight up, I said, don't ever let me catch you in my city, bro, because I'm putting hands and feet on you. That just is what it is. And I don't feel bad about it, because that would be me getting my lick back. Like, I would need to get my lick back because it was wild to have all that said to me. And like, for the last like 5 months of everything happening, I was at peace. I was healing from a broken relationship. I was healing from like school finally being over and I could finally like relax. And this is what I was met with. Like, that was insane. And now to this day, like, even in my Discord, like, we talk about it just to like, you know, keep it fresh, you know, just be like, okay, don't do this or look out for behavior like this. And I'm just like, damn, that was so embarrassing. Like, that was such an embarrassing like thing for me to have gone through. But it's like, it's not so embarrassing because it's not a unique experience. You know what I mean? Like, it's not unique to me that women are acting like this to just me. It's happening to other young girls. It's happening to even like older women. But it took me, like, I'm glad I learned this lesson now while I was 21. I'm about to be 22. And like, I really am glad that I got to learn this lesson. It wasn't one that needed to be drug out in some like firing flame of glory. Like, it was just me learning a lesson. And I took that shit at the chin. I'm not gonna lie. I really took that shit at the chin at the end of the day because it really could have been way worse. But yeah. Well, guys, that was just my story. Like I said before, if you take nothing away from today, please take away that like you being aware of your talents, your gifts, your hard work, your dedication, and your beauty in yourself as a person, like being aware of that will save you. Like, please. And I'm gonna tell young girls this all the time because I'm going to be big sis sushi when I say this. Stay away from women who act like a steak. Oh my God, please stay away from them. And there's a lot of red flags that I now notice as an adult, like that you may not notice as like a teenager or even like as older women. Like it was a moment, and it was a moment that I did not like, but it was a moment that I needed to have, obviously, because I could have went my whole life not thinking anything of myself. I could have went my whole life not thinking anything like of my talents and my aspirations and my ambitions, and not knowing that those things threaten people. I didn't know. The fuck? Like, I didn't know shit like that was gonna hurt somebody's feelings. Like, me being fabulous and me like wanting better for myself, I didn't know that stuff like that like really ate people up. And like I said, like, I am not a saint. I am not a saint. I told that girl I was gonna put hands and feet on her, dead ass. Like, I meant that shit too. Like, that's not me trying to be on my moral high horse, but I can say that I tried my best. I did not let that like friendship fall through. That was something on her own accord, and there's nothing I can do about it to this day. But if you guys in any way, shape, or form can find ways to protect yourselves and make yourselves feel seen and heard, even by like your small group of friends, then you do that, girl. You, boy, too. Men, I don't even know how I would tell a story like this about like female-centered men. I don't even know if that's like, I don't know if that's a thing in y'all's, I don't know. But if y'all would love to hear a story time, something about that, I think I got some people who would definitely be willing to let me read their stories, y'all. So y'all just let me know if that's something y'all ever want to hear. But again, love yourself, know who you are, and then don't you ever let nobody motherfucking play with you, girl. Don't let nobody play with you, because the one time I thought I was gonna be a saint, girl, Jesus was letting everybody play with him. I'm so sorry about it. If I was Jesus and I tried the peaceful route, baby. I tried it just now, and you see what the fuck happened to me? Don't let that happen to you. So with that, on an ending note, I'm going to go ahead and say, y'all know what I'm about to say. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know what I'm about to say. Yes, you know. Now, guys, y'all go off and y'all have a great time. Don't fight, don't bite. And if you do, don't get caught. Because if you do and you tell them I told you to do it, yeah, you guessed it, I'm gonna lie on you, okay? I'm gonna lie on you. So yes, thank you guys so much for staying till the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next story time, y'all. So bye.